Hello everyone, it's Vicki here, designing for Hip Kit Club, and I am using the September 2020 kits, and it's Mixed Media Monday. So I start off with a piece of white thick cardstock, and I'm going to coat it in clear gesso. So that's just me doing that there. I'm going to use some water with some magicals, so I just want to protect the paper so that it doesn't fall apart. So I do that and put that aside to dry for a minute. And I also decide I want to colour these little wooden frames that are from Jen Hadfield's The Avenue collection. And I put some white gesso on them because I'm going to paint them with the other magicals, the Clambake beige magicals. And actually they turn out almost the identical colour to what they are before they're painted, but hey ho, they've got a little bit of sparkling by the time I finish, so yeah, it's not all wasted. So I just put this white gesso onto the frames just to give a base for the paint, and I just pulled out a scrap piece of card from my recycling box to do that, so that I didn't ruin my mats. Okay, so those I'm going to put to one side to dry as well. Clearing out my fingers there because it's a messy business, mixed media. So now I'm going to dry my piece of cardstock completely with the gesso, and I'm ready to go. So pull out the Whale Watch Blue, which was in the colour kit, as well as the Clambake Beige. And I just want to do a blue background, but I want to blend this with another colour so that I can have a slightly different shade to what's coming out, but slightly more sort of aqua, and also some shine. So this Whale Watch Blue is a flat colour, there's no sparkle in it, and so I'm just putting some water with that and sort of twisting my page backwards and forwards. And then I pull out this colour, which is called Jana's Jade, and we got that in a colour kit quite a few months ago now. If you get the colour kits, you'll have a nice stash of Lindy's. But that one has some sparkle in, and it's also slightly more aqua, so it sort of gives more closer to the base colour that I wanted to achieve. So I've moved that around the page, I used my finger a little bit, and now I'm going to dry it with my heat tool. And by the power of video, we've skipped through that and you can see it dry, and you can see the shimmer a little bit in there. So now I'm going to bring my frames back for a moment just to see how they look on the background that I've just made, and I'm happy with how that looks. They work well with the shape that I achieved with my my running and flicking. So I'm back now to the frames, and I'm going to use the Clambake Beige to colour them. Now, what you'll see is actually it's a very similar colour to the wood anyway. It's darker when I put it on, but by the time I rub the paint in and dry it, it comes out much lighter. So it's almost like I didn't do anything to them, but if you've watched this video, you know I did. Honestly. So there we go. So I'm going to paint all of them, and I decide as well that, again, this is a flat colour, and I decide that I might quite like to put some sparkle into it. So I'm going to grab a colour that we also got quite a while ago, and it's called Grab a Guy Gold. And it's just a spray, so I just spray them all over and give them an extra little brush, and that just adds a little bit of sparkle. And actually you can see that on the actual layout, there's some sparkle on the frames. So just dried those off. There you go, they look wood again. Okay, so I'm going to rearrange them onto the page, and that's how I want them to look. So I'm happy with that. And the next thing I'm going to do, I think, is some splatters with the Jana's Jade. Yeah, there we go. So I'm just going to add some splatters around the page for an extra bit of interest. And they're nice and sparkly, those splatters. it's got a really lovely shimmer. And just soak up a couple of the really big ones, and then I'm going to run my paper towel over it to just to dry those off a bit. So they're quite subtle, but you can see them well on the layouts. So the next thing I'm going to do is cut out some leaves from some of the papers. I cut some of these leaves off of the black and white floral that you see there. I quite like the shape of those, and they work really well with my theme. So I'm going to skip through that in a moment. I think I cut out about 5 or 6 leaves altogether. There we go. And then I want to make some leaves out of this paper, just on the split of this paper, so that I've got the offset zigzag on my leaves. So I cut one, sort of draw it and cut it, and then I just cut around that same leaf so that they're all the same size. And I also cut some from the reverse of that paper. So I've got some that are blue and white and some that are the floral green paper from the back. So I'm going to just sort of play around with this for a minute and try and decide what I want to do with the leaves. And I'm going to place them with those black and white ones as well. Okay, but they're not going to stay in exactly those positions. I just want to sort of get an idea of what this is going to look like and where the picture is going to go. That's just a picture of my husband and my 2 nieces walking our dog. And yeah, I thought it was quite sweet. So I'm going to now stick these frames down, because I know that I want them to go there. And I'm just using some Beacon 3-in-1 glue, which is really good for sticking this kind of thing. Apologies if you can hear my dog snoring. He's laying in the background, relaxing while I'm doing a voiceover for a video. He's pretty cute though, even if he's pretty loud at snoring. Okay, so all the frames are now stuck down, and I'm going to start to embellish. So I'm going to fold all of the leaves in half, because I want them to add some dimension to the page. So I fold them all in half, and I skipped through that so you didn't have to watch me fold them all. And now I'm going to stick them down. So I'm going to stick 2 together in each position. And these black and white leaves over the top, or just slightly underneath all of the clusters that I make. So I have 3 leaves there. I decide to stick to 2 and just put them down into another position there. So all the sort of places that I can tuck something in, I've tucked something in. Okay, so just sticking those black and white ones in between for an extra bit of interest around those. Okay, and I'm liking how this is looking. It's quite a masculine look to it, but I wanted to have something that was sort of more outdoorsy, blues and greens. So I'm going to take these chipboard pieces and use quite a few of these on there. That's a tag. I'm taking the sticky off of the back of them just so that I can move them around the page for now. And I would always put glue onto the back of them anyway. So that works. I tried out that pink piece, but I decided to keep pink out of this for now. I love those pears on the little branch, a little pear up there in that frame. So I want to have something in each of the frames, or around each of the frames. So these are little bees that I put up there. They look pretty cute. And I get a little camera from here, which is a little green camera, which I put onto white paper, and also the Together sticker. So I'm just going to make those into die cuts so that I can move them around, and they can be popped up without having, without the sticker sort of having to stick flat. So I just cut round those, and Yeah, it doesn't take too long. They're fairly simple. The word is a little bit more complicated than the camera, but it doesn't take too long. Okay, so that's that, and that's going to be my title there together. Nice and simple. I love that font, that scripty font. So now I'm going to start to stick things down. I just took a bit of extra cardboard off the back of that chipboard sticker just because I didn't want it to stick too far off the page when I put the photo on top. So I'm just going to skip through that, sticking everything down. And now I want to put something in that top left frame. So I cut out one of the houses from that paper, which is, bear with me, I will find it. That's the Maggie Holmes Marigold collection. That's the paper the leaves came from as well, the same collection, and also the chipboard. So I think actually most of what's on here is from that collection, apart from the frames. So now I'm going to put my photo onto some vellum, and just to add a little bit of a hazy feel around it. I didn't want to put any more papers on there because it's quite busy underneath already. So I'm going to stick that down on top of there, and then I'm going to put just a little bit of foam on each end of that together sticker, just so that it can go over the frame and then stick down either side like that. I think we're getting pretty close to the end now. Aha, no, the squirrels. I'm on a squirrel kick. I have to have squirrels on every layout at the moment, so I'm going with a couple of little squirrels in a second. I try out a couple of other pieces which don't work, but the squirrels are going in. So one there by those leaves, and then another one just at the top of the photo. And that is it. That's the final layout. I do hope it gives you some inspiration for your outdoor pictures and your masculine pictures as well. Yeah, be sure to check out the colour kit each month because they're so versatile and you can do lots with them. So there's some close-ups, you can see the sparkle a little bit better in those. But thank you so much for watching. This has been Vicky for Hip Kit Club. Bye-bye.